What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPapa, and listen, this is one of the coolest videos we have done in a long time. Now, obviously, I have a lot of pride of authorship. You know, I think that a lot of stuff we do on this channel is very cool. I'm always pumped to bring you guys new videos, but this is one that I walked away from and I was like, this is just awesome information. Now, I had told you guys that I was going to do a 151 video today, but guess what? I also said in my last video, I said, hey, if you guys are interested in this chase card versus booster box view, like which gives us the better rate of return, what gives us the best bang for our buck, I will be happy to do that research. And I got this overwhelming response. Everybody seemed like they wanted it. So I started doing some data dives yesterday morning, and guess what? I got so far down the rabbit hole. This was so incredibly cool, so incredibly compelling. I was like, we got plenty of ramp time for 151. I'm gonna do that video further down the road. I have to get this content in front of you all right now because it is absolutely fascinating, and I know that you guys are really gonna enjoy it. So what are we looking at here? Like I said, we're gonna look at chase cards and booster boxes. And we're going to say, hey, if we have to pick one of those products, I either buy the big chase card or I buy the sealed booster box, what's going to give me the greatest rate of return? What's going to give me the greatest bang for my buck? What's the best investment? So we're going to look at Sword and Shield sets, and we're going to look at sets that are at least 16 months old, right? Because I think anything newer than that, it's got to have more time to bake out. We are also going to look at the actual price of these products at month number 4, and we're going to assume that we make a purchase at that time. So in the past, we have said, okay, listen, when we're doing Elite Trainer box analysis or booster box analysis, we just do this blanket statement and we say, okay, we're going to take 20% off MSRP because most of us don't pay MSRP when we're buying these products, and we use that as our base point. The awesome thing about this video is we have actual price points. I used Polkadata.io, which I use a lot, but I haven't integrated into my videos a lot of times. But in this one, we use Polkadata.io, so we know exactly what these chase cards were going for at month number 4. We know exactly what the booster boxes were going for at month number 4, and we can use that, which makes this incredibly impactful and relevant. And I love it so much. Now, as I said a minute ago, we look at rate of return, right? Because hey, if a card goes from $50 to $100, right? It doubles in price. That's 100% gain. But rate of return matters because did that 100% gain happen in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Like all that matters. Time matters, and we're going to be looking at cards and boxes of different age. So rate of return normalizes that over time. It takes that gain and it annualizes it. So we're going to look at rate of return. And also, I stopped at Vivid Voltage. Okay, I stopped at Vivid Voltage because you know the data got a little hard. I used raw card prices in here, and also there was a lot going on in Vivid Voltage. When we get to that slide, it's a really cool slide, and you're going to know that, hey, listen, we're in the pandemic now. The Pokemon market was incredibly hot, and you're going to see that reflected. Now, I do want to say this. I can get data beyond Vivid Voltage. I can get PSA data. I can get booster box data. I feel 100% confident I can do that, but it's going to take a little more work, and I'm happy to do it. I love doing it. This is, you know, one of the things that brings me the most joy in the day-to-day life is doing this kind of work for you guys, but I want to make sure that you all enjoy it before I dive into it. So the best indicator that you all enjoy this content is, hey, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you enjoy it and lets me know I need to do a little more data digging. Comments also let me know the same thing. Drop some comments down below if you want to see more similar content like this. And subscribers, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you've been watching this channel, I really appreciate it if you would do that. So listen, I think looking at the beginning of Sword and Shield would be awesome since we're in the beginning of Scarlet and Violet. I think looking at the end of Sun and Moon would be really cool because those singles and booster box prices are going absolutely nutty, absolutely through the roof. So I think that would be really cool as well. So again, if you guys like this, if you guys want to see more, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. Now that all that nonsense is out of the way, let's get into it right now. So listen, you know I like to be really clear with this. The big BB and the arrow up, that's the booster box price graph, and then the chase and the arrow down, that is the chase card graph. So we're going to start with the booster box, right? So Brilliant Stars came out at launch. It was going for $120, and at month number 4, didn't move much. It was still at $123. Now, we all know that after that, Brilliant Stars booster boxes got really hot. It got all the way up into the 160 range. It was hitting 170 in some places. But there was an announcement of a restock, and guess what? The prices come back down to $135. So when you looked at a rate of return, if you bought it at month number 4, the current price is $135. That's an 8.6% rate of return. Now, in the Poke space, that's not really exciting, but again, 8.6% rate of return is nothing to shake a fist at. That's not bad at all. Now, When we look at the chase card, this is where things got really interesting for me. Now, it launched at $230, right? This big Charizard V alt art. You know, this is a big chase card of Brilliant Stars. Everybody thinks Brilliant Stars is going to be one of the top Sword and Shield sets, so you would imagine that this chase card is going to be one of the top chase cards of the Sword and Shield era. Well, not so much. It launched at $230, like I said. At month 4, it was down to $165. No big deal, right? Cards always drop by month number 4, 5, 6. But look, it has continued to free fall. It is all the way down to $115. That number is so low. I went on eBay this morning to make sure it was true. And sure enough, there's a buy it now for this exact card for $115 on eBay. So that gives you a negative rate of return, negative 32.9%, which we don't talk a lot about negative rate of returns here in the Poke space because the market has been so hot. But this Charizard V alt art has been down and to the right ever since launch. Now, guess what? We just did a video on Obsidian Flames and we saw the exact same thing with the Chase Charizard from Darkness Ablaze. So the two Chase Charizards from Sword and Shield era, both of them have been downward in the right since launch. Now that's really cool. That's really impactful because, hey, why is Obsidian Flames going to perform any different? Like, what is there fundamentally different to make us think that that Chase Terra Charizard is going to perform any different than the last two that have come out? I don't know, and that's one of those things. That's why I talk about all these videos kind of layer into each other. So really cool things, got my mind going. Brilliant Stars was an awesome set for us to start off with. Now, Fusion Strike right here. Fusion Strike, another great one. You all know that I think Fusion Strike is one of the big sleeper sets in the Sword and Shield era. I think this Gengar VMAX alt art is absolute fire. I think it is an incredible card. I think it's going to do really well in the long run. I think this set as a whole has a bunch of really awesome cards, and I think it's flying under the radar. Now, the booster box came out at launch at $140. Month number 4, it was down to $85. Can you guys imagine buying booster boxes of Pokemon cards at $85? I know it's happened a lot in the past, but nowadays, that is absolutely insane to think about. So if you could buy this at $85 at month number 4, the current booster box price is now $134, which would give you a very, very robust rate of return of 34.6%. So even though this booster box is still available below MSRP, if you had bought it at month number 4 at that $85 price point, guess what? Even though the booster box is currently below MSRP, you still would have seen a 34.6% rate of return, which is absolutely crazy. Now, let's look at this Gengar VMAX Alt Art Chase card that I was just talking about. Came out at $188. Month number 4, it was sitting at $95. If you had picked that up at $95 on month number 4, it is now at $184, giving you a rate of return of 50.6%. Absolute amazing numbers, amazing rate of return, a 50.6% rate of return on this Chase card. So in this one, guess what? Chase card outperforms the booster box versus Brilliant Stars, where we saw the booster box outperform the Chase card. Man, I love this video. All right, next one right here, Evolving Skies. I was so excited to get into this Evolving Skies because I was like, here it is, the Moonbreon versus that booster box. Like, who's going to come out the winner? At the end of the day, it's a pretty close to me. So, Evolving Skies booster boxes came out at $130. In month number 4, it was down to $110 a booster box. Man, if I could turn back time and pick me up some Evolving Skies booster boxes at $110. Well, anyways, now you can't because it's up to $390, giving you an absolute mind-blowing rate of return of 82.7%. Then we look at this amazing Moonbreon Chase card. You know, I talk about it in a lot of my videos. It's one of the most graded cards, right? It's one of the most popular cards on TCG Player. It is everywhere. It is the big chase card, probably of the Sword and Shield era. At launch, it was going for $575. At month number 4, it was all the way down to $180. Now it is sitting at $543, giving you an incredible rate of return on this chase card of 71.8%. As amazing as that rate of return is, as incredible it is to think, if you would have picked this up for $180 at month number 4, guess what? The booster box still outperformed. This was the set that I was really excited to look at. I didn't know where it was going to shake up. I didn't know where it was going to end up. Really interesting to me to see that the sealed booster box, from a rate of return perspective, did better than that big Moonbreon Chase card, at least thus far. Now, getting into Chilling Reign, speaking of cards that I'm absolutely in love with, this Blaziken is fire in my mind. So first we'll start off with the booster box. At launch came out for $120. Month number 4, it was a little bit higher, up at $125. Good for you, Chilling Reign. Now it's sitting at $135, giving you a rate of return of 4.4%. Not a lot of excitement there considering the other sets that we've looked at and considering what we have come to expect here in the Pokemon market. Now, you look at the Chase card, came out at $200 at launch. In month 4, it was down to $115. Now it is up to $195, giving you an awesome rate of return of 30.6%. Guess what? Chilling Reign, another check mark for the chase card versus booster box. So now we're going to get into Battle Styles. Battle Styles was another one I was really excited to look at, simply because there's not a lot of big chase cards. Like, no offense, Tyranitar. Love you. Love this card. Think it's awesome that you're sitting there passed out after pounding it looks like 20 plates of food. But at the end of the day, you know, not a big name, not a huge chase card. So I was very interested to see how this shaked out, especially since this is kind of the market that we're in right now. So you look at this, it came out at launch at $145 per booster box. Month number 4, it was down to $98. I'm telling you right now, I don't care if it is the worst set ever produced in the history of Pokemon. If you can get a booster box under $100, I think it is a great buy, and I think you're going to see nothing but upside. We always talk on this channel about protecting the downside. Like, before we even think about any price appreciation, we always think about the risk. We always think about downside protection. For me, any booster box under $100 is very, very well insulated. I think it's very well protected for the long run. Now, came in at $98. Guess what? It's only at $111 right now, but if you bought it at month number 4, right, you bought it under $100, you still have a 6.2% rate of return, which, hey, that's better than Chilling Reign at this point. So, hey, Battle Styles, listen, this is why we talk about, hey, it's very important to understand your entry points and your exit points. So 6.2% rate of return on the booster box is pretty darn cool right there. Now, Mr. Tyranitar. All right, came out at $200. Month number 4, it was down to $90. Now it is basically flat, sitting at $88. The rate of return is actually negative because it is down a couple dollars. So, hey, not a great performance from the chase card, but again, not a lot of love for Battle Styles in general. So, speaking of a card that I absolutely love, PikaPikaPaPa, love me some Pikachu, right? We're going to talk about Vivid Voltage, and we're going to go through this. And as I said in the very beginning, there's some very interesting factors here going on in the Vivid Voltage space, right? So you'll see, I put the launch at $145 simply because that is MSRP, but the reality is these boxes were selling for a whole lot more than $145 at launch. Now, you will see that it went way, way up, and then it started to work its way back down. At month number 4, it was in the middle of that downward spiral, not downward spiral, but it normalizing, coming back down, but it was still selling for $172. Now you can buy these for $123, and if you had bought it at month number 4 at $172, now at $123 gives you a negative rate of return of negative 14.2%. But that pales in comparison to my Pikachu VMAX Rainbow Secret right here, my poor guy right here. At launch, it was all the way up at $400. Now, this was the height of the pandemic, and we know that Vivid Voltage came out, and it was a hot, hot, hot item, and then they just printed and printed and printed and restocked and restocked and restocked. But still, it is really amazing to see it drop this much. Came out at $400. Month number 4, it was down to $350. Now you can get this for a tick less than $100. It's sitting at $98, giving you a negative rate of return of negative 53.3%. So, you know, booster box still wins, but is there really a winner here? You know, I don't think so. Poor Vivid Voltage. Again, when we set the parameters in place, there's no deviating from it. You buy it month 4 and its current price, and since the market was inflated at that point in time, Vivid Voltage takes a big loss here. So what does all of this mean to me? This was an incredible video to do, and again, if you guys like this, I'm happy to do the work and look at some more. But the average price decline from launch to month number 4 was negative 45%, which I thought was really cool. 6 of the 7 examples had booster boxes with a positive rate of return, like up until we saw the very last one, up until we saw Vivid Voltage, which we know there was some external factors. Every other booster box, as small as it might have been, every other booster box had a positive rate of return. Conversely, only 3 of the 7 examples had chase cards with positive returns. That really, really surprised me there. Booster boxes won the performance challenge 4 of the 7 times, but it was closer than I thought. Again, 7's an odd number, so 4 of 7, I mean, that's as close to 50-50 as you're going to get using an odd number, right? So it was really interesting to me to see that booster boxes did win 4 of the 7 times. What was really interesting to me was the fact that I just talked about a minute ago, where 3 of the 7 examples of chase cards had positive returns. And for me, I'm always trying to take emotions out of the Pokemon space. Like I buy with my head, I buy with my heart, but also when I'm thinking of it from an investing standpoint, it's really good to set a plan in place and to follow that plan. And so I certainly don't have a set in stone buying plan, but this could be the start of it. Like, we're never going to know where the bottom is. Like, anybody who thinks that they can claim when they know the bottom of anything, the stock market, Pokemon cards, the automobile market, the fine wine market, you're never going to know where the bottom is. So that's why you have to have a plan in place. And if we come to this understanding that, hey, listen, buying booster boxes at month number 4, like we feel really good about the rate of return after that, or chase cards at month number 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever if we end up doing more research and we find a better entry point. At the end of the day, understanding your entry and exit points when it comes to this is incredibly important. Again, I think you should collect and buy what you love. And what I do is I have 2 different spaces. I have my collection with my kids that we love and we have fun with and we just get what we want. But then I also have that investing side, and the investing side is a little more business and a little less fun. So anyways, I just walked away with all kinds of cool stuff. I hope I get the response I'm going to think on this so I can do a whole lot more research. But if I don't, it is what it is. All I care about is producing content that you guys enjoy. So I hope you have an epic Sunday. I appreciate you, and I will be talking to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.